Welcome to episode 99 of the Thunder Underground podcast. My name is Trent. As always, I'm joined by Jason.
What's going on?
I don't know. I think we've got a good one here. That's what's going on.
Yeah, that is definitely true.
I like to say it's a good one because it is.
Yes.
I don't say that lightly because Steve Blaze of Lillian Axe is here with us today.
Yes.
Went out to Dallas to the Hair Metal Holiday was the name of the event at the Bomb Factory in Dallas this past weekend. And got the chance to talk to Steve after the show. We'll get to that here in a bit, talk a little bit about the show as well. But before, let's just jump right into some music, you think?
I think so. Okay. Let's do it.
This is a band called Stryctnyne out of Long Island, New York. Great heavy metal band. This song is called Blasphemer from Stryctnyne out of Long Island. Man, that's just a pretty balls to the wall song right there.
It is. I really like it. I think if you like, Judas Priest-y, Black Sabbath-y type kind of stuff, this is your deal.
Yeah. Yeah, there's times where it almost gets real big and grand and epic, like it's some kind of orchestrated metal thing, like those operatic metal bands or something, but like it never really sounds like that. It just kind of has that feel and it keeps it in that classic metal vein, like you said, and these vocals are just soaring, killer guitar work, just a great band all around. I've listened to some of the other stuff. They've got a lot of videos on YouTube, for all these songs that they put together, so check them out.
Yeah, it's great when you can carve out something that's, it's got that warm classic metal blanket that we all love to crawl under.
Right?
I mean, it feels good and it feels familiar, but at the same time, they're not totally copping stuff. They're doing their own thing. So, I mean, yeah. Stryctnyne, get into it.
Yeah, look him up on Facebook or YouTube. It's spelled Stryctnyne. So it's not as you would spell it out phonetically. So be sure to write that down, type it in, follow them on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever they're at. All this great stuff. Check them out. Long Island, New York, Stryctnyne.
That's right.
Well, and speaking of kick-ass classic rock and metal.
Yeah.
Lillian Axe is a band that has been around now for, 30 years pretty much? Or longer, actually, I think. But since they've been in the mainstream, late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And, they had some success in MTV and radio in the early days with True Believer and Show a Little Love and Moonlight in Your Blood and that kind of stuff. But they never really took off to the grand level that some of those bands did. So I think to a lot of people, they're still under the radar. And then you get out, glad to see they get on these festivals, and you get out there and everybody's, cheering, singing along because they put on one hell of a show.
They do. And they seem to have a little bit of a cult following.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond, and that's that's something that, can be talked about for, Lillian Axe and King's X. They're kind of the left to center when you talk about these hair metal fests.
Yeah.
And which was the case. And, Lillian Axe they go beyond that. They just, sometimes it's almost like a power metal thing.
Yeah.
Here and there. So.
Well, we saw them, at Streets Gone Wild earlier this year, and they, it was the same thing we talked about then. They, Queensryche's on that bill, and they're kind of the same, more progressive metal.
Yeah. And
get thrown on these lineups. But, Lillian Axe might have leaned a little more of that back in the day. So maybe that's why they're included on these things than their sound is now. But it still relates well because everybody loves hard rock and metal when they come to these things. So.
And it's such a treat to see Steve Blaze play. I mean, that guy is just a flurry of notes and taste. And so, I mean, I always enjoy it.
Yeah, I'd kind of, listened to him a little back then, but never really got into it. And then they played Rocklahoma like the first year, the second year, 2007 or 8, back when they had the big tents on the sides. And
that's right. Yeah,
saw him in one of those real late at night, and it kind of reinvigorated my love for these guys, and I delved into them again, and their newer stuff like Fields of Yesterday and, the album that just came out, 3 or 4 years ago now, Days Before Tomorrow.
That's right.
And these, so you really need to check these guys, their newer stuff out as well. And I think that if you love killer guitar work and kick-ass vocals, there's not a reason that you're not going to love Lillian Axe.
Yeah, I mean, jump in and just give their whole catalog a chance.
Yeah. But like we said, you mentioned King's X. We went to this show at the Bomb Factor in Dallas, which first thing, we've been to several shows in Deep Ellum in our life, but never at the Bomb Factory.
That's right.
Oddly. And so this was quite a treat because this place it's not your typical little club in the middle of Deep Ellum. It's like a freaking full-on, the capacity-wise is the size of bigger than most theaters.
Yeah.
I think it holds over 4,000 people, and even if it's not filled to capacity, it still feels like there's a lot of people in there, the way it's laid out. It's got a real cool setup, it feels like there's different areas, even though it's big and wide open there in the main area, and it's got a really nice stage. It's got a balcony level, and you can go out to the lobby, where the merch is at. A lot of bands are out there, and it's a little quieter. It's just a really cool venue.
Yeah, it was a top-notch venue. I mean, real classy, just real clean, modern, state-of-the-art. It was a great place to see a show.
Yeah, and they, as you might hear in this interview in a little bit, Steve talks about how well their production team is and everything, running the show. And,
yeah.
I mean, you could tell that when you're there.
Oh, definitely.
But this lineup, besides Lillian Axe, also included Pretty Boy Floyd, Bulletboys, Tuff, King's X, Kix, and Slaughter.
That's right.
And we didn't miss any of them, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I missed a little bit of Kix, but we'll get to that here in a minute.
Yeah.
Which is odd to hear me say that, with as much as I love Kix, but there's good reason.
Very good reason.
Yeah. We got there, and the thing that I went away from this show with the most is that every single band held their own. Mm-hmm. It's like, when you think about the heyday of that stuff, you think, Kix and Slaughter had big hits, and, they're at the top of this bill. And then you got bands like Tuff and Pretty Boy Floyd that didn't have huge success, but had some moderate success with MTV. And both those bands, held their own on that stage with as well as anybody else on that bill, So it was really cool to see, Tuff. That's one band I don't think I'd ever seen, surprisingly. And, they played a great collection of stuff. They obviously played, I Hate Kissing You Goodbye, their ballad, and ended it with American Hairband, which was the rock classic that Steve Rochelle wrote years after the heyday of glam.
You knew they'd play that.
Yeah. But then Pretty Boy Floyd comes up, and, they're the epitome of that whole scene.
Oh, hands down,
I said they kind of have that feel like Faster Pussycat. It's the same kind of thing where it's sleazy, glammy, but it's also, there's some heavy songs that are rocking. They've got the power ballads. They've got the dirty stuff.
Yeah.
And I liked what you kind of said about it. They still had the look.
It
didn't seem fake. Like some of those guys have the look and they look a little corny, but they had the look and they pulled it off.
The thing is, these guys aren't young anymore. Hell, none of us are. And sometimes when bands kind of do that and keep that look going, it looks kind of sad, though, And, Pretty Boy Floyd, I don't know, they did it in such a way where, I mean, that's them. That's them. That's their style. That's their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it didn't look stupid. I mean, it probably would look dumb if you or I dressed like that. Right. But, I mean, they did it and pulled it off, and even at their age, it's just a certain way you go about it. And, one thing I noticed was even at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, that place, was, there's a good showing of people there to see, Lillian Axe and Tuff and Pretty Boy Floyd, and people knew those songs. And, that was just a kind of a testament to this kind of music,
Yeah.
I mean, ever since I was 12, I get made fun of for liking hair bands or the term, 80s metal, glam, whatever. And, it's just, and I just don't care. You know, you can go fuck yourself.
Right.
You know, and people think that it's stupid or sad or whatever, that, you know, you hear that shit all the time, you know, oh, they're still doing it. That's so sad. Well, no, because it was 4:00 in the afternoon and that place was half full singing Tuff songs, you know, so why wouldn't a band keep doing it, you know? So, I mean, you know, it was just really cool to see, and it was, you know, it gives you faith that, you know, there is validity to this stuff. And, you know, it's like I've said before, it's feel good music for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta admit though, I always leaned more towards the slicker kind of stuff like, Firehouse and Slaughter. I didn't get into the real sleazy stuff like Pretty Boy Floyd or, you know, Faster Pussycat. But still,
I love
all
them
in
both.
all, yeah.
Both sides of the coin.
All in all though, it's still, you know, a valid genre, and last night was proof.
Yeah. And Stevie Rochelle was there, and I wonder if he ran into Dana Strum and how that went.
Yeah, I know. Too bad we couldn't have got more of an insight on that.
Right. For those of you who aren't aware, Stevie Rochelle from Tuff is behind Metal Sludge, who, if you weren't paying attention to Metal Sludge 15 years ago, I feel sorry for you, because that was every day. You know how, like, when you get up and you get on your phone or your computer and you start looking at shit, like, now most people, it's probably Facebook or your email or your text message is the first thing you do. There was like a 2-year period of time where Metal Sludge was the first thing I looked at every single day. I mean, exactly. Just to see what, you know, if there's a new 20 questions, what story they had, what, you know, crazy shit some Sebastian Bach did or whatever.
Yeah, and you checked it multiple times a day.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be making fun of Janie Lane or, you know, talking smack about Jerry Miller, and it was always funny, and I don't know, it was just like the greatest thing in the fucking world.
Yeah. And he always had a little bit to say about Dana Strum, so that's kind of why I wondered if that's, you know, if that's all in the past or if that kind of thing's still awkward. Who knows?
Remember he did the interview with Slaughter Inner Circle, and they wouldn't name who it was? I always wondered who it was.
Oh, man. Should have went up to his merch table yesterday and asked him.
Yeah, no shit. No shit.
Wow. Well, we also had King's X on this bill.
Yeah.
And both of us had seen him open for Motley Crue.
Years and years ago.
Yeah, the Motley Crue tour with John Corabi in '94.
Yeah.
This is like one of the greatest lineups in history. Motley Crue, King's X, and Typo Negative. That's the kind of thing that, well, obviously can't ever happen again, but that type of thing wouldn't happen these days. Even, you know, maybe in Europe, but even that's just a weird when you think of a band like Typo, a band like King's X, and a band like Motley Crue. It's just three just wildly different things but it worked, you know.
Yeah.
And we're, you know, fans of all three. And King's X is, since the dawn of time, of their time probably, has been one of probably the top 3 most underrated rock bands ever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
maybe the most underrated. Yeah. I don't know.
You got 3 guys, the same 3 guys that have been there forever, and they're all 3 world class at their instrument. And
they were always a band that like musicians loved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they had mainstream radio songs, but like it never took off to that next level for them, which kind of sucks. But they're like you said, musicians, because they're always creating, and they've never stopped. Even when there wasn't a King's X album, Doug Pinnick has like 27 different projects. Ty Tabor's had solo albums.
Yeah, no kidding.
And they're all great. And just, so for me, that was what I was looking forward to the most, just because I hadn't seen them in so long, and I'd seen all these other bands, in recent times. And just like you imagine, they completely delivered. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it was, their song selection was great. I mean, they were at the top of their game. It sounded great. It was, after seeing them 22, it was 22 years. It was, shouldn't have waited that long to see him, but I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just top notch.
And Cammie was with us, and this is her favorite band, so she was over the moon.
Oh yeah, she was going nuts. It was great.
Got clear up to the rail.
Yeah.
And squeezed away up there. And the other thing, I don't think I told her or you after the fact, I'd got up pretty close, like there was 2 or 3 people in front of me to the rail, but everybody around me was singing along to every single song.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like people were just standing there waiting for something else. People knew this band, and I know that I was reading like the event page like in the week or two leading up to it. I think there's a lot of people that came just for that.
Just
and probably
for that.
left,
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
They don't play Dallas a whole lot, I don't think, which is odd, even though they're from Texas. But so just to see that, see the fan reaction, it was a shorter set like it is at these things, but it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And quite an honor to be there, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I missed Lynch Mob was before that.
Yeah.
And you can't, I'm a massive fan of this band. And, we've seen them several times in the past few years, and you can't ever expect anything but greatness from George Lynch and Oni Logan. This phenomenal, underrated voice, and then one of the greatest guitarists in hard rock history.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
It's just a joy, It's like there's so much soul and, just, I don't know what other word to use with soul and Oni Logan's voice. And when you couple that with George Lynch's guitar, you have this amazing sound that you never had with the previous band George Lynch was in, because there's not much soul coming from that guy.
No.
That other guy,
not.
I mean.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The greatest Dokken album ever was 1990's Lynch Mob release, Wicked Sensation, because George Lynch is Dokken.
That's right.
There you go. Mark it down.
Mark it, dude.
So I know, you weren't ever into that back then as much, but I think you are a little more now. I mean, what did you think seeing it?
Oh, it was great. And, George Lynch is just one of those wizards. He's just one of the elder statesmen of that style. So to see him again was, it was crushing. I always loved his solos, his ability. And then even when it's not a solo and it's just a verse or a chorus, he's not just doing power chords or something. He always makes it interesting. And this show is no different. And so that was just, it's always a treat to see that guy play live.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And, what's next?
It's like he's got that Les Paul, like, cutaway.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing and it doesn't matter. He just makes it sound like a hot rodded up Ibanez or something. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, after King's X was Kicks.
Yeah.
And Eddie Trunk said it on the mic, and I've said it to people who hasn't seen them. They're literally one of the best rock bands you'll ever see. Just like King's X is, but it's in a totally different vein, because Kicks fits perfectly into the, the glam, the hard rock, the 80s sound.
Yeah.
But, their live show is just phenomenal. Just how great they sound, and it's just one of those things that's hard to explain. It's like, the same sense that like Cinderella or, Tesla or one of those bands from back then just have that solid hard rock sound that rose a little bit above just kind of the cheesy stuff.
Yeah.
To make,
exactly.
Something more real, and Kicks was that same way. And their new music's great, and they played that too.
Their new music is phenomenal.
Yeah. And I was walking back from the bathroom to get over there, and I looked out into the lobby and saw George Lynch was out there. So I went and stand in a clump of people waiting to meet George Lynch while Kicks is playing.
Yeah.
And then right when I got to the front of their line to meet George Lynch, Doug Pinnick and Jerry Gaskell from King's X walk out.
Nice.
And I'm like, holy crap. So I messaged you and Cammie.
Yeah.
And so we missed 3/4 of Kicks, but it was totally worth it, because I never really thought I would be shaking Doug Pinnick's hand,
Yeah. And George Lynch.
Yeah. I'd met George Lynch before. But,
okay. Well, I didn't. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm never washing this hand.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like three musical, like you can call them musical geniuses and not be like exaggerating.
Yeah.
All three of those
exactly.
guys. Well, Slaughter ended this thing off, and both of us are big fans of these guys. They came towards the tail end of the glam scene, but they still were one of the few bands that came towards the end of 90, but still had massive hits.
Mega hits, yeah.
That echo to this day throughout the people that love that kind of music, like Up All Night and Fly to the Angels and Mad About You and everything. And they played a set full of all those hits. And, I've seen them a few times, over the years. And Mark Slaughter's voice is just, he's never lost anything. And you mentioned that there was that YouTube video going around a few years ago where he was playing with some band and sounded bad.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was like an off night, because last night he was screaming his ass off. He was hitting notes and it sounded right.
Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, this guy hadn't missed anything over the years. Nothing. And he just powerful and soaring, and I mean, the guy could be in Judas Priest, for Christ's sakes. He really could.
Yeah.
And I mean, he still had it, you know.
Yeah, and the band themselves, you know, sounds solid as hell. Like Dana Strum's been a part of that band since the beginning. Obviously with Mark Slaughter way before that with Vinnie Vincent. And Jeff Blando, you know, has been there for years, and he's just a phenomenal guitarist. And a lot of their shows where they have longer sets, he'll sing Heaven and Hell by Sabbath. Does a great job. And then Zoltan's back there, and it's like God. You can't. It's hard to keep your eyes on Mark Slaughter or Jeff Blando or anything else going on with that guy, because it's like, you know, I challenge anybody, even if you don't care about Slaughter, to go to a Slaughter show and not just have fun by watching that dude play.
Yep, exactly. I mean, that guy is insane. I mean, he's just he's like a spider up there. He's all legs, and he's doing these crazy stick twirls, balancing a stick on a fingertip while he's playing the song with his other hand and his feet, and he's picking up the drum throne and using it to smash a cymbal, or he's, you know,
taking other cymbals off and hitting cymbals with that cymbal.
Yeah, or what was the thing he did on the very last beat was he got way up high up on the monitor and jumped off and hit the cymbals at the last.
Right.
I mean, the guy's just a animal. I mean, he literally is animal on the drum set.
Yeah.
And even if you don't like Slaughter or whatever, YouTube Zoltan Chaney.
You can see him with Vince Neil as well.
Yes, yeah, he plays in Vince Neil. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, if you're not familiar, Slaughter, basically the three guys in Slaughter minus Mark Slaughter, has been Vince Neil's solo live band for years. Yeah. Actually, they played his album from a couple years ago too.
Yeah. And
yeah, Zoltan, you know, I asked you after the show, like, do you think this guy's just a really great player? Or is he just a great showman? And you mentioned you think, well, he's nailing every part without being sloppy while he's doing all this crazy shit. So obviously he's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, or maybe he's like some goddamn Mike Mangini level, and playing Slaughter songs is like a step down in a level for him. So he just, to keep it in Motley Crue songs, so just to keep it interesting, he's had to do all this stuff. I don't know, but I mean, you know, the guy is amazing because he hit everything amidst all the, you know, trickery and all of his, you know, flair. It was just, I'm just telling you, YouTube it, you won't be sorry.
All right, so after Slaughter ended this thing, we met up with Steve Blaze from Lillian Axe.
Yes.
Like we mentioned. We recorded this podcast interview you're about to hear, and I think it went pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
I don't know how much editing I'm going to do.
Yeah?
But we'll find out here
yes,
soon.
We will.
There's quite a few interruptions because we did this out the backstage door, so there's a lot of people coming and going.
Yeah.
And people were leaving after the show, so we got interrupted several times by the likes of Mark Slaughter, Dana Strum,
yes,
Eddie Trunk, Chad from the Bullet Boys, his own band members, Brian.
Yeah.
Different stuff. So I'm going to edit what I can. Other stuff I'll leave there because, you know, why would I cut out Mark Slaughter?
Yeah, you don't really want to cut out Slaughter and Eddie Trunk coming out and saying bye to him.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know, that we had to compose our fanboy selves. You know, right. And so that's going to be in there for sure. Yeah.
And, you know, there was guys that work there dragging rails around. So anyway, just bear with the noise, but I think it's not too bad.
No.
So, and it was pretty good chat about what they've got coming in 2017, which is some new music, the album they're working on that sounds kind of like a pretty epic thing. Mm-hmm. We're looking forward to that. And then, you know, some other stuff. So we'll get into that here in a second. Until then, be sure, like always, thethunderunderground.com. We've got all our previous podcast reviews and everything up there. You can find us on all the social medias. Get on there, find Lillian Axe as well, of course. Follow them, Facebook, Twitter, everything.
All that.
Yeah. Well, let's just get into this. This is Steve Blaze from Lillian Axe.
other than that,
other than that, it was a smooth day.
Yeah. So how was your set tonight? What'd you think of the crowd and stuff?
I thought it was great, man.
Yeah?
It went real well. I had a good time.
Good.
I thought that, oh, hey, Chad. Good to see you, brother. We'll talk to you soon, right?
Yeah, I'm happy for you guys. And Brian's got a club.
Thank you.
Sensational. I had no idea.
Brian?
I'm not a social media guy. I barely ever get on there.
Yeah.
I had no idea he had a successful club in Mississippi.
Yeah, he's doing good, man. It's good to see you, Chad. Take care, brother. I'm sorry.
No, you're cool.
So do you like festivals like this where you get to hang out afterwards and see the
Yeah,
bands?
I like doing these kind of things. The only problem is you don't get to play very long.
Right.
Because and everything is so rushed. But the good part about it is usually these companies, the production companies that do these things are top notch. Catering's good. Everything is done very professionally and very well. And it's an opportunity to get a lot of promotion and you get to play in front of a lot of people, So I'd rather do that than just one-offs,
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Well, yeah, I noticed they've changed the sets pretty quick, the turnovers real quick, but does that mean your sound check is really quick? So is that tough?
it is, but the one good thing is that they usually have really good sound engineers, and they've got it down to a science. I mean, seriously, it was so quick and smooth, and the production people were so good. They have it all dialed in pretty much from the beginning. Hey, brother, it was a pleasure, man. I was just talking you guys up how great the production was, and
hell yeah, man.
And you guys,
It's good to see you all again. Work
Yes.
you guys again.
We'll anytime, brother. You guys are top notch, brother.
Last one I saw was at Zeppelin's.
What? Was that with my side project, Near Life Experience, or?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I opened for you guys. I was in a band called, and I'm from Kenner.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. No shit.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it was good to see you guys again.
Great to see you.
It was Near Life Experience.
Yeah,
Fucking, you got
man.
better,
Oh, wow. Because I know Lillian never played Zeppelins.
No.
It was Near Life Experience. And then I had a Black Sabbath tribute called Black Earth. My brother Craig, I don't know if you know Craig, Nunemacher, yeah. Black Labels. Yeah, it's my little brother.
Used to go with my cousin Juan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, because Craig was in Near Life, and then we did a Black Sabbath tribute called Black Earth. And those are the bands that played. Zeppelins was a trip, huh? That just...
I was sad. I was already living here when it closed, but I was sad as hell when I heard
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen those guys in a long time. But I live in Mandeville now. I moved to the North Shore right when the hurricane hit. So
yeah, it was nice to hear some Yaddy accents come through.
There you go, brother.
Like, I don't hear nothing.
you take...
So Craig's your actual brother, or just you're
Yeah,
just saying
no,
it proverbially?
No, he's my real brother. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There you go.
I had no clue. So I thought Blaze was a given name,
No, man. It just, people kept screwing up Nunemacher too much.
Right.
He decided to stay with it,
We'll talk about Michael being back.
Man, it's a blessing, back when we got signed, Michael, and he was always phenomenal, but he was dealing with a lot of personal demons and stuff, And it was a tough decision and all, but, we kind of went our ways, and then years later, we started seeing each other out. And then the drummer for Zebra, Guy Gelso, and I talked about doing a side project. And I was like, I'd been seeing Michael, and, prior to that, the original 4 Lillian Axe guys, Johnny Vines, Danny King, Michael Maxx, and I, the first 4, we were together for 4 years till I got signed to MCA for the first album. Then I changed the whole band. Those 4 guys, we got back together again and did a record called Circle of Light. So I was playing with Michael again. Yeah. Then when Guy and I put Sledgehammer together, which is a cover band doing all arena rock, everything from Sabbath to Styx to from Emerson, Lake and Palmer to Queen, all the great stuff, right? And so Michael, I said, man, get Michael to play bass. So here I am playing 2 bands with Michael, and then the situation popped up, and our bass player just completely flaked out on us. And I'm like, this is a sign from God to get Michael back in the band and come full circle. And this is only his 3rd show with Lillian, and it's amazing. It's like, he and I are attached at the hip, and just such a great chemistry with him. So, I God works in mysterious ways, and that was, going through that, weird situation to get to where you are, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
thrilled about it.
So it's one of those things where it felt like time hadn't passed the first time you guys played together again?
Yeah, you know, it's like riding a bike. You know, it really was. It's just, you know, we just kind of feed off each other, and, you know, not only playing-wise, but even when we're on stage together, you know, it's like I know where he's going, where we're moving. We just kind of move. We have that great chemistry. But, you know, and people even said that to me tonight. They go, geez, you guys had this, it just seems so fluid, you know? And you can tell, like, if you get in a situation with somebody like the prior bass player, you know, good guy, good bass player, but never was really like, never felt real comfortable, you know? And then having Michael back, it's just, it really is like putting a whole pair of shoes on you found in the closet you forgot you had.
Well, there's something you said for that feeling, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It really is, so.
Yeah.
Was it hard throughout the years, since you've had quite a few members come and go? Does it make it hard for you sometimes to get chemistry with guys like that?
No, you know, it's weird. But we have a, you know, 32-year history, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so much happens in those things. People feel like, oh, man, this is your, you know, third bass player and your third singer. This, and I'm like, think about it. How many marriages last?
Right.
How many girlfriends do you go through? How many friends do you go through? You know, it's a tough situation, but I always look at it as it's part of the journey, you know? I mean, I've written all the songs. You know, I formed the band. I've been the president or whatever you want to call it, the quarterback all this time. You know, Sam and Ken have been with me 18 years, so that's a long time, yeah. And so you have a few things. And the good part about it is none of our changes have ever been out of animosity. We've never had like a fight and kicked you out or anything like that. It's always been like guys just want to do something different with their lives. They want to change what they're doing. Hey, guys. Oh, yeah. Hey, Mark.
See you later, man.
It was good to see you. Great
Always
show,
great to
man.
see you,
Yeah, man.
You take care of yourself. Merry Christmas,
I will.
man.
Same to you, brother. You
All
take
right.
care, brother.
Take care.
All right. Eddie, good seeing you.
Great seeing you, man.
Same
Have
here,
a great
man.
Christmas, all right?
Yeah, you be safe, man.
You too.
You flying out tomorrow morning?
Yeah, a little later, but not morning, but early afternoon.
Okay, man. Hey,
I
good
gotta
to
get
see
home
you.
and watch my Giants.
Yeah, good luck, man.
Don't Troy, I said fucking, I'll see you one of these years.
One of these years. Take care, brother. Good job, man. I'm sorry.
How about
So,
old Jan?
hey,
Easy, buddy.
it's good seeing you again, man.
Good to see you, too. Pleasure.
So, so where were we?
Oh, the members throughout the
Members,
years.
different members.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm fortunate that I've been able to always have somebody good to come in and be a part of it, you know?
Yeah.
And I look at it like everybody that's been in a band, whether it's been a year or, you know, 10 years, it's part of the family, you know? I mean, we're getting an award in Jackson. It's the Jackson Indie Music Week. It's kind of like South by Southwest, and we're getting the 2017 Icon Award for over 2 decades of, they say, groundbreaking contributions to the Jackson music scene, which is a big thing in that. So I'm like thinking to myself, man, an Icon Award. I'm kind of old there. You know? And I started thinking about it, you know, like, what am I going to say, you know, in speech and whatnot. Just like when we got inducted in the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame. It's all about, this is a combination of lots of different people. Not just band members, but crew members, fans, people from all over that have been a part of everything, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people, man. Guys like you know, press guys, journalists, crew guys. I mean, it's great because everybody has a part in anything being successful and getting out to the world, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that's really cool. So fortunately, I've always been able to have good relationships, even if somebody wants to go off and do their own thing. It's just because they didn't want to tour anymore, or they didn't like the music business, or they just didn't feel like, you know, they didn't have the desire to just keep on, you know, going through the whatever we have to go through. So, you know, so it's just you know, it's fortunate that you can every time you think like, man, there's no good musicians or no good people anymore. Then you go, wait, what about this guy? And it works out well.
Somebody pops up, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Always keep my ears and eyes open.
Cool.
Well, speaking of that, Brian has a great voice.
Yeah.
And I really like on that last album, he kind of almost shifted your guys' sound to power metal in a way.
I mean,
what do you think he brings different than previous
the thing
guys?
about Brian, it's like before Derek that took Ron's place, they had very similar tonal qualities. Derek sounded a lot like Ron. But come in with Brian, it's a different thing, so I knew that, it's like you kind of take that dive and you,
We want to say goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Always good to see you, bro.
Yeah.
Love you, man.
Absolutely. Love you
Take
too,
care.
man.
Be
We'll
safe.
see you at the next one.
Yes, in a couple months, I'm sure.
All right,
somewhere.
I'm sure.
I'm
Somewhere.
sure.
Good to see you, brother.
Always good to see you, man. Take care.
You too.
Always
Be
good
safe,
to see you, Steve.
All right, brother.
Have a good trip back, man.
Y'all be safe. Guys.
We'll see you next time. Rock and Skull next year again, right?
Yeah, we'll be around before then.
Thank you, Shake.
There you go. Where were we?
Brian.
Right. Brian doesn't, tonal wise, he doesn't sound like those other guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I realize that at first you're going to get some of the people that, they look at the band almost like it's so personal to them that they don't want to have any changes. People don't like, they like what's comfortable.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? We're going to take it to the next level. You go and you just sing these things like Brian singing them, and people are going to take to it. It may take a little time. And then when I started writing the songs, I'm hearing Brian singing them, so it's like just he's coming into his own thing now.
Yeah.
And the next record's going to be even better. What's up, buddy? What's the matter?
Next item. New stuff, writing, new album.
Yeah, actually, we're in March. We're putting out a record.
Hey, sorry.
What?
I apologize, man. I didn't know to go.
Oh, you're good.
I didn't even see that. Is that a mic?
Yeah.
Shame, I'm sorry. I
you're
totally
good.
interrupted y'all.
We're not live.
We have a record coming out in
Yeah.
March. It's a best of the ballads.
Okay.
Right.
Like Ghost of Winter and See You Someday, Promised Land, all those. It's called The Forgotten Art of Melancholy. And we have one new ballad on there that I'm writing right now and recording. And then the new album is going to come out towards the end of the year. We're going to start recording like in June. It's called From Womb to Tomb. And it's kind of autobiographical in a way. But it starts off with life, like beating heart of an unborn baby. It's going to go from all the lessons and things I've learned throughout my whole life up until death and forward from there. So
it's kind of like a concept album.
it is. Yeah. It is in a way, but it's like epic. It's like, the things that I like the best about the band, like The World Stopped Turning and Ghost of Winter and Fields of Yesterday and Saturday on Planet Earth, like those big epic songs.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing's going to be like that. It's kind of like, the wall. It's going to, no set patterns.
Yeah.
Probably lots of like things between songs and musical things and segues and stuff, and I want it to really be powerful, like kind of just a lesson in life.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to write because it's real personal, and trying to capture what I'm wanting to say and the emotional aspect of it, and musically capture it. So, but there's no rush.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about my record label doesn't care what I write. There's no, you don't have radio to please anymore. You just going to write a great album for the fans,
Well, that sounds like the kind of thing you can't really rush,
No, you got it. And, and to be honest with you, I haven't been in the mindset to get down yet because it always happens with me. It's like for some reason all of a sudden I get into a point like with Love and War it happened, and with Psychoschizophrenia it happened, where something happens and I'm ready, and I sit down and all of a sudden everything starts to just freaking flow. That happened with Days Before Tomorrow. It's like all the ideas just start, like really, I get divine inspiration somewhere, and I'm at that point now. I have tons and tons of ideas and a few songs right now. I'm demoing the first song right now. It's called Breathe, and it's going to start off with an actual heartbeat of a a fetus, you know, in the womb, and trying to capture the, you know, because like I'm thinking about when my son was born and when I was in the room with him and just the explosive energy of that life coming out, you know. And I'm trying to capture that in music, you know, and it's I'm doing it, but it's a challenge, you know.
I bet.
All right, good to see you, brother. Take care, man.
So how far along are you in the process? Like, you have several songs completed?
I've got the bulk of the songs and lots of the ideas, and usually what happens is when I start getting into the writing thing, it starts to really come together real well. So I've got the song that I'm toying with. I don't know if I'm going to, because I wrote the music for it. It's so, I mean, it's like, I can't wait to record. It's so awesome. And I think it's kind of looking like, when I listen to it musically, I kind of let the words write themselves. But it's kind of like what I may use as the very last song on the record, because it's big and it's orchestral and it's really uplifting and it's just powerful. You know, it's going to be a lot of light and dark contrasts, you know, like soft into giant and then back down and then crescendos and stuff like that. It's going to be really emotional. That's why it's taken me so long, because it's I got to be able to capture it on tape, you know. So I'm revamping my studio at my house, and if all goes well, I'll be able to do a lot of the like guitars and vocals at the house. So I won't be like under the gun, like in a studio paying ass loads of money. Right. I got to get this done. We'll just go do like drums and piano and stuff like that in the big rooms, and do everything else at home. So I can kind of, you know, I can take my time with it, you know? Because I really want to get it out by the end of the year. I really do.
Well, you're wearing a Batman shirt. Last time I saw you, you were wearing a Deadpool shirt. So I take it you're a superhero guy?
Oh, yeah, man. I got a Captain America tattoo.
The next thing.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, you're good. So, superheroes, what's your favorite? I assume Captain America, since you got it on you?
Yeah, when I was about 4 or 5 years old, my dad bought me a Captain America model. Y'all remember when they used to make models with tester glue?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was the first one he ever bought, was Captain America. And then when my dad passed away, he was in hospice care. He died due to diabetes and cancer, and he was wearing a Captain America t-shirt when he breathed his last breath that I had bought for him. So I told him before he died, I didn't have any tattoos. I said, Dad, I need your blessing on this, because he didn't like dig tattoos. So I gave him got his permission and had the shield put on there. And then, you know, start getting more. It's like once you got one, you got to have more.
Yeah, definitely. Nice. Well, I really like the orange guitar because it stuck out.
Yeah.
Just that color, and I didn't even see I couldn't tell you're moving around so much what kind that is.
I have
kind of
4 of my own signature guitars.
Okay.
That orange one, and I have another purple one that I didn't play tonight, are from a company called Stryctnyne Guitars. Okay. And I met them a few years ago. They're doing they make strictly 7 strings for prog metal and death metal guys.
Yeah.
But they wanted me to be like their rock guys, so I got the endorsement with them. We developed those 2 guitars. But before that, I was with a company called Guilford Guitars. The other 2, I have 2 lines of guitars with them. The Blaze model, which is kind of like a PRS looking thing, and another one called the Redeemer, which is like a cross between an Explorer and a V. And I had them tonight, but I didn't play them. I just played the oranges. So those are the ones that I play. Yeah.
Love those awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I apologize. I'm going to ask a stupid fanboy question.
No, that's fine.
I've seen you a few times, and never Moonlight in your blood. Is there a reason?
You know, it's weird because
I can't help it.
Because it's one of my favorite songs too. For some reason, when we play it, it just doesn't gel. It's one of those unexplainable things, and it's probably something that nobody but me would notice. But it just doesn't feel like. I think one of the reasons is throughout the whole thing, there's an acoustic guitar in the background, and it makes it really fluid on the record. We played it for the One Night in the Temple, the acoustic set.
Yeah.
It never made the record because it didn't sound right. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know. Ken was like speeding it up too fast, and it just never has gelled right. So it's like, I go, we got enough songs to pick from. So we just said, let's just, there's so many other ones. Let's just go with that.
Cool, man. Well, we appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, man. We'll
we'll
see you
let you know
next
next
time
time.
we're in town. My
Appreciate
pleasure,
it.
man.
There you go, Steve Blaze, guitarist at Lillian Axe. Thank you to him for taking the time to do that. Thank you to Chip from Chipster PR for setting that up. Like I said before, you've got to check out Lillian Axe. These guys are constantly making great new music. Brian, like we talked about in the interview, has a phenomenal voice. Michael Maxx is back, so you got half the original lineup going now, so he's going to be on that next album. So really looking forward to this album that they got coming in 2017, because what he talked about there sounds pretty epic, like he said.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for new Lillian Axe. Check out his stuff he's got going on if you're in the New Orleans area. Sledgehammer is his cover band he's got. And we found out that info that who his brother was, that we didn't even know that.
I know. How awesome is that? And he was a pretty nice guy.
Yeah.
And that's always awesome.
Yeah, great dude. We talked to him a couple times throughout the day before
Yeah.
getting there to the interview, and he's just a real personable person, so it's always nice to meet people like that, whether it's in music or not. So the world needs more wonderful people like Steve Blaze.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll set it here. And thank you for listening. If this is your first time listening, I urge you to go to soundcloud.com/Thunder-Underground, hit subscribe, follow us there on Facebook, /The Thunder Underground. We're on YouTube at The Thunder Underground. We've got reviews of the new Metallica album, the new Avenged Sevenfold album, some Metallica songs, Black Sabbath show. We're going to have more stuff coming there as well. We've got on SoundCloud 98 previous episodes.
That's right.
If you're into the stuff like we were talking about from the Hair Metal Holiday, we had Mark Torian from the Bulletboys on. That was a great one.
Yeah, it was.
That's
It really
another
was.
guy that's a wonderful human being. Great to talk to.
And they kicked ass at the Hair Metal Holiday.
We didn't even talk about that.
Well, we're doing it now.
Holy crap. I knew I was going to forget something.
Yep.
So now we're talking about Bullet Boys.
Hey, we can do whatever we want. This is our goddamn show.
That's true. Okay, going back to earlier, when we were talking about this show, we talked about everything but the Bullet Boys. And it's just one of those bands that I think people kind of overlook from that era these days.
Yeah.
But like Smooth Up In Ya is as big as any song from that era.
It is.
And
it is.
Just to see people...
You see how nuts people went right when he went into it?
Yeah, people were reacting to
Blew
the
up.
earlier stuff, like For the Love of Money and Hard as a Rock. But yeah, whenever he sang that opening line, everybody's jumping up and down. And probably the biggest reaction of the night besides Up All Night, I bet.
Yeah.
But it's
Pretty
just...
much.
So it's just cool to see that. And like we talked about on the episode we did with him, this is another guy who's maintained his voice extremely well.
Yes, he has.
And the album they put out in 2015 called Elefante, he's got, his great vocal stuff. The guy is also kind of in the same sense that Mark Slaughter is. People don't realize that this guy's a phenomenal guitarist.
Yeah, he is.
Because
he was tapping and doing all kinds of crazy shit. He was great.
Yeah, and that's another thing we talked about on that episode. He was actually in line to be Ozzy's guitarist, or one of the people that they were looking at after Randy Rhoads passed away.
Yep.
So that's how good this guy is.
Exactly. And that's the thing is that I will admit about Bullet Boys is never really got into him back then, and it was just one of those I just kind of looked over, and as we come into this and this past couple of years and knowing that we were going to interview him and this and that and whatever, and then meeting him and experiencing the fact that he's probably one of the nicest guys in rock ever. I mean, so positive and so accommodating, I'm a fan now, like big time. And, that goes a long way. And, all you people that liked him before knew something I didn't, I'll admit.
Right. Well, yeah, they're just another band that made that such a cool show this past weekend at the Bomb Factory. And
that's right.
We talked about all that. Another thing, we didn't really go into much detail about how great Lillian Axe's live set was. We were just talking about them in general. And, this was, like he said in the interview, it was Michael's only his third show back, and we saw the first one. That was at Streets Gone Wild in Tulsa like 3 months ago. And it's just, the other guys have been with him for a while, except for Brian, the singer, and they, have really gelled as a unit. And it's just another one of those great bands that you have to see live to really appreciate.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like I've said 12 times already, I think, get on board with Lillian Axe if you're not.
That's right.
And back to what I was saying about who's been on this podcast, besides Steve Blaze now and Mark Torian, we've also had on Mark Kendall from Great White, Joey Allen from Warrant. We've had on, who am I drawing? Ian Hogland from Europe. Mark Gus Scott from Trickster.
Yes, that was a good one.
We just had on Chris Green, who has been in Taiketo for a few years now, and he's also an insanely phenomenal instrumental guitarist. He just had an EP come out a couple weeks ago, and you need to check that out. And then we've had on guys from heavier bands like Avatar, Drowning Pool, Crowbar, Battlecross, Chris Broderick, another phenomenal guitarist from Megadeth, Active Defiance. Reed Mullen from COC, Sid Falk from Overkill, Ted Aguilar from Death Angel. And there, like I said, 98 previous episodes for you to check out. Here we are. We're on the verge of 100.
100,
We've been talking about it for, I don't know, the last 10 or 15 episodes at least, because we're getting closer.
Yeah.
And, we'll talk about that more on that episode, but congrats, I guess, is a word.
That's right. You too, man. We did it.
Yeah. It's kind of weird to think. Here we are, and it just seems normal now that we're 99 deep.
No big deal. No big deal. Yeah. We got there.
So we can let you know that coming in the next couple weeks, we're going to have episodes with Tony from Battlecross.
Yes.
So this will be the third episode with Battlecross, but the first two were with Gumby.
And this one's with Tony.
So we got Tony, the guitarist, this time.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We got Greg from Allegion, who's a phenomenal melodic death metal band you need to check out.
Yes, and Greg is quite the axe master, isn't he?
Yeah.
Really super fucking good.
Yeah. And, man, that's been an ongoing thing now.
I know.
I'm talking about Steve Blaze and Chris Green. We're just lining them up here.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
And we're going to have Severmind coming soon.
Yes.
We're going to have a few other things in the works. I don't like to say things that aren't set just to not jinx them.
Yeah. But we can, that's what we can definitely tell you we got going on.
Yeah. Be on the lookout for Battlecross, Allegion, and Severmind.
Of course.
And like I mentioned, NeathUnderground.com, Lillian Axe, buy their music.
Yes.
And until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.